Hello, good morning. So this is the first video for our finals. So our finals talks about it's not problem solving and reasoning, but it's all about data management. So we have 6 lessons. The first lesson is the collection and presentation of data, measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, measures of relative position, probabilities and normal distribution, and I don't know if we can tackle about correlation and linear regression. So if you can see, I think you have tackled this one in your lower years. Meron naman to sa ating statistics and probability when you are in your senior high school. So this is just a review for all of you. So it's all about statistics and probability. Nangyari. Ayan yata. So, ayan, data management. We're going to talk about statistical tools derived from mathematics. So, ayan. So, our objectives is for us to use the variety of statistical tools to process and manage numerical data, use mathematics in other areas such as finance, business, environment, and recreation. So, yan. Lesson 1. So, yan yung main topic natin for today, which is all about collection and presentation of data. So, it says there that statistics has several meanings. So, you can just read that one. Wherein, we're talking about the history of statistics and probability. Noon daw, because of politics, statistics was made, or yes, due to politics yun nagkaroon ng statistics. And for probability, kasi noon sa voting, yan, politics, voting, noon, that is their way of finding out about statistics. For probability naman, because of gambling. Noon daw kasi, that is because of Blaise Pascal and his friend, wherein his gambler friend made Blaise Pascal find an algorithm on how he is going to win in that gamble. Yan. So again, so statistics was made because of politics and probability because of gambling. Yan. So we have steps in statistical investigation. So the first one is defining the problem, collection of data, tabulation and presentation of data, analysis of data, and interpretation of data. Defining the problem, of course, you are going to find out, or you're going to study on what is the problem that you're going to find. Then after that, you're going to collect the data that you need in solving the problem. Then after that, you're going to tabulate and present the data through textual, um, tabular, and tabulation, textual, and graphical form. If you can remember your graphs, we have many types of graphs. So we have their bar graphs, pie graph, line graph, pictograph, and many other graphs. Then after that, you're going to analyze the data. So it pertains to the process of deriving from the given data relevant information from which numerical descriptions can be formulated. So based on the data that you have tabulated, collected, presented, you're going to analyze that. Then after that, you're going to interpret that one. So if you're going to interpret the data, you're going to conclude, or you're going to give conclusions or the result of your collection. So we have two branches of statistics, we have the descriptive statistics, and the inferential statistics. For descriptive statistics, ito yung basic. For inferential, ito yung medyo higher level. Ayan. Bakit higher level? Kasi sa descriptive statistics, we're talking about collection, enumeration, classification, graphical presentation of data. Okay? Wherein, ang ginagamit lang natin when it comes to descriptive statistics ay mean, median, mode. So, descriptive statistics, basic lang ang gagamitin nating statistical tool like mean, median, and mode. Yan. While sa inferential statistics kasi, kailangan natin dito ang larger groups. So, we talk about larger groups. That's why we need to use statistical tool. Kasi, example, alangan namang gagamitin mo or magtatali ka ng frequency count using 10,000 or 100,000 respondents. So, yan. Diyan papasok yung ating mga statistical tools. Wherein I think you have learned that one. So, mean, median, mode, frequency count, or tallying, yun yung sa ating descriptive statistics. While sa inferential statistics, we use the t-test, chi-square, and many other more. So, ang alalahanin nyo, kailangan natin dito yung hypothesis. So, yan. So, kung napag-aralan nyo yung hypothesis sa statistics nyo, then that is good. Yan. So, population and sample. Of course, you know about population and sample. Wherein, ano ba ang difference ng isang population and sample? Of course, the population talks about the totality or the overall number of observations, while the sample, kinuha mo dun sa population. Wherein we have many sampling techniques. I think you have learned those techniques. We have the simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, multi-stage, ang tawag doon, multi-stage, cluster, yun yung mga sampling natin. Meron naman yung convenience, purposive sampling, yan. I think napag-aralan yun sa statistics and probability. Again, population is all about the totality, wherein a sample represents the population. Or we get a sample for us to represent the population. Yan. Then we have a variable. Yan. So, a variable refers to a factor, property, attribute, characteristic, behavior that differentiates a group of person, a set of things, events, conditions, or approaches from another group. So, yan ang variables natin. Yung variable natin, ito yung karamihang pinag-uusapan natin sa research. Yan. So, kapag naranasan yung mga research na yan, di ba? Defining of terms. What are the variables? What are the independent and the dependent variables? Yan. So, yan yung parang karamihang pinag-uusapan natin. Or, yun yung karamihang ini-study natin. Yun yung karamihang kino-compare natin. Yan. So, example, sex. It's not about 3 times a day, ha? It's about male and female. Then we have socioeconomic status. Socioeconomic status is about yung class, geographic location, managerial style, motivational factors. Or we can have learning styles of students. Are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Or are you a kinesthetic learner? Yung kailangan gumagalaw-galaw. Ayan. One type of variable, the eye color, brands of cars, brands of laptops. Yan, those are variables. Number of siblings in a family, that is a variable. Okay? So, variables can be dependent or independent depending on their use. Yan. So, Of course, alam niyo naman na ang dependent, nagde-depend siya sa independent. Wherein an independent variable can stand alone. Okay? Yan. So, we have also the difference between a discrete, hindi yung LGBT at saka continuous. So, discrete variable results from either a finite number of possible values, ayan, finite number of possible values or a countable number of possible values. So, yan. So, a finite number. Kapag finite or countable, yun daw ay discrete kasi pwede nating mabilang. While, sa continuous variable, hindi natin mabilang kasi infinitely many. So, yan. The number of people that play professional basketball are discrete data kasi pwede nating mabilang. As are golf scores because they represent exact counts. In contrast, distance, force, time represents continuous numerical data. Okay, discrete variable. I'm going to give another example. Brands of cars, number of siblings in a family, scores in a test. Yan. While sa continuous, andun yung height, weight, temperature, IQ. Yan. So those are example of continuous variables and many other examples. So yan. So variables are qualitative if they have form or attributes such as race, sex, religion, yes or no responses. They are quantitative in nature if they come in measurements such as weights, heights, temperature, and other measurable quantities. So, yan. So, kapag kasi sinasabi natin qualitative, ito yung mga hindi numerical. While quantitative, numerical in nature siya. Or merong binibilang natin. Yan. Kaya yun yung darating yung weights, heights. Kasi sa religion, di ba? What is your religion? Christianity or Christian. Islam. Di ba? Yan. So, then dito, we have the 4 scales of measurement. Okay? The 4 scales of measurement are nominal scales, ordinal scales, interval scale, and ratio scale. Okay? So, ano ba yung difference ng apat? Okay. So, sa nominal scale daw kasi, ayan, you are categorizing. So, ayan, mutually exclusive categories. So, you are just categorizing. Then, kapag nagka-categorize ka lang, ang gagamitin mo ay nominal scale. Okay? So, brand of cars, gender, ano pa? Religion. Ano yung religion mo? Ano yung sex mo? Male or female? Yan. Yung example natin. Basta kapag nagka-categorize ka, what is your eye color? What is your hair color? What is the complexion of your body? Yeah. Okay? For ordinal data, ang alalahanin nyo lang dito is your order. In order. Or you are ranking. You are ranking. Dito naman, categorizing. Categorizing. While, for the other one is we are ranking. Basta kapag about ranks, yun ay ang gagamitin natin ay ordinal data. Example, honors, diba? We are ranking. Top 10. Yan. Yung parang order na pinanganak kayo na magkakapatid. That is ordinal data. Military ranks. Yan. Olympic medals. Yan. So, those are ordinal data because we are ranking. Okay? While for interval and ratio, kapag interval daw siya, ito yung parang, um, anong tawag doon? Ang alalahanin nyo dito, z- kapag ratio data, 0 means 0. While kapag sa interval data, 0 doesn't mean nothing. Dito kasi, 0 means nothing. Okay? So, ang example nito, all measures of distance are based on ratio scale. A negative score cannot exist on a ratio scale. A person cannot run a race in negative seconds, weigh less than 0 pounds, or score negative points in golf or basketball. So, ang interval data kasi, kung bakit doesn't mean nothing. Example kasi ng isang interval data is yan, temperature. Okay. Kapag yung temperature ay 0, it doesn't mean na walang temperature, di ba? But it means that it is the freezing point. Okay? So, it means that it is the freezing point. So, yan ang sinasabi ko sa inyo na kung bakit hindi pwedeng ang temperature ay ratio data, but it is an interval data kasi ang temperature kapag 0 yung um, kanyang scale or measurement, it does not mean that walang temperature. Okay? Ang IQ, kapag 0, meron ba ang IQ na nag-0? Wala, di ba? So, yan. Okay? While in ratio data, okay, anong andon? Distance, force, time. Kasi, ang force, di ba, pwedeng walang force na ilalagay. May the force be with you. Yan. Okay? So, basta ang alalahanin nyo, kapag sa ratio data, 0 means nothing talaga. Wala siyang kilo, walang height, ganyan. Pero kapag interval data, 0 doesn't mean nothing. Okay? Yan. Then, collection of data, we have two types of data. We have the primary data, and the secondary data. Of course, the primary data comes from the person itself. So, this comes from the person itself. So, example ng mga yan ay autobiography. Kasi, di ba, kapag autobiography, ikaw ang mag-describe sa sarili mo. Diaries, first person contacts. Okay? Or, let's say, interview. Di ba? Kapag mag-interview ka, that is collecting primary data kasi nanggaling yan sa tao. While in a secondary data, ito lang yung nababasa mo. Example, books, magazines, journals, newspapers, thesis, and dissertations. Okay, so ang alalahanin nyo kapag primary data nanggaling sa tao mismo, while secondary data manggagaling sa mga published or unpublished data. Then yan, methods of collection of data, we have 5. Of course, interview, ayan, mag-interview ka. Questionnaire, ito yung magbibigay ka ng survey questionnaire. Registration, observation, experiment. Okay? So, kapag experiment, of course, you know, this is more on sciences na nag-experiment sila. Observation method, ito yung parang kang stalker siguro. Na ino-observe mo yung mga galaw-galaw ng mga anong tawag doon, mga ini-experiment mo or ino-observe mo na data. Registration, ito. Ayan, yung parang registration. Questionnaire, then interview. Then we have the methods of presentation data. We have 3 actually. So, we have the first one is textual form. Of course, kapag textual form ang pinag-uusapan natin, that is in paragraph or narrative form. While in tabular, table. Okay, so ayan, darating yun tayo dun sa frequency distribution table. Then, of course, the last one is the graphical method. So, dyan napapasok yung mga graphs natin. So, frequency distribution table,